Ghosts of the Tower of London. The Tower of London has a long and rich history, and a reputation for being haunted. It is said to be the most haunted place in England, with many people claiming to have seen and felt the presence of ghosts and other paranormal activity. From a paranormal perspective, hauntings at the tower are believed to be caused by residual energy from traumatic events that occurred there throughout its long history. This energy is believed to linger in certain areas, causing ghostly apparitions and other strange phenomena. The Tower of London was built in 1078 by William the Conqueror. It served as a prison, a home for royalty, and a place of execution for hundreds of years. It is said to be the site of numerous murders and executions, and is believed to be haunted by the victims of these atrocities. There have been many reports of hauntings at the Tower of London. Perhaps the most famous is that of Queen Anne Boleyn, who was beheaded on Tower Green in 1536. She is said to haunt the area where she was executed as well as other areas throughout the tower. Other famous figures said to haunt the tower include Sir Walter Raleigh, Lady Jane Grey, and Margaret Pole. Additionally, there have been reports of unexplained cold spots, strange noises, and strange lights in various parts of the tower. The tower is actually a complex of more than 20 towers, surrounded by 2 rings of walls and a moat. The various buildings represent different architectural styles and periods, and have served as a fortress, royal palace, prison, execution and torture site, armory, treasury, zoo, mint, public records office, observatory, and home of the crown jewels. There are currently over 23,500 jewels stored at the tower. The first structure within the tower's walls was built by William the Conqueror was the Central White Tower, which was the tallest building in London for centuries. Its first prisoner, Ranulph Flambard, was convicted of extortion as Bishop of Durham in 1100. He likely regretted being involved in design improvements to the tower, as 22 people would eventually be executed there. Royal prisoners were generally well treated, but religious dissidents experienced the more cruel side of the tower. The tower's collection of torture devices includes the Scavenger's Daughter, a compression device, and the rack, also known as the Duke of Exeter's Daughter. It is believed that where there are instruments of torture, there are unhappy spirits close behind. Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII's second wife, was beheaded on May 19, 1536, for infidelity and treason, and is one of the most well-known tower residents. However, there are also living residents at the tower, including the yeoman warders, also known as the beefeaters, and their families. These full-time employees often have close encounters with the ghostly inhabitants. One tragic story involves Margaret Pole, the Countess of Salisbury, whose son publicly embarrassed Henry VIII but escaped punishment by fleeing to France. Unable to punish the cardinal, the king instead sent his 72-year-old mother to the block. When she refused to kneel before the executioner, he chased her around and hacked her to pieces. Her ghost is said to be a frequent visitor to the tower, still trying to evade a ghostly executioner and his axe. A current employee recalls a story told to him by a retired yeoman warder who used to live in one of the quarters around the outer circle of the tower. One night, while he was sleeping, his wife woke him up to see 2 children in white nightgowns standing at the foot of their bed. The man saw nothing, but his wife said the children were holding each other in front of a Victorian fireplace, which the man also did not see. There was nothing but a brick wall in that location. In 1483, 2 young boys, 12-year-old King Edward V and his 9-year-old brother, Richard, Duke of York, were killed and their bodies were hidden. It was widely believed that their uncle Richard, who later became King Richard III, was responsible for their murder in order to seize the throne. Many years later, the discovery of a pair of small skeletons beneath a staircase led to the theory that they were buried near the foundation of the White Tower. Could these be the huddled figures that a woman saw before the Victorian fireplace? E.L. Swift, a 19th-century keeper of the crown jewels, shared a ghostly story from 1817 in which he and his family were having a candlelight dinner in the Martin Tower. His wife saw something across the room, and when she screamed, Swift turned to see a cylindrical object resembling a glass tube, filled with blue fluid. It seemed to move and approach his wife. Swift threw a chair at the cylinder, but it passed through the ghostly image and fell to the floor. The cylinder simply retreated, and disappeared. Swift also confirmed another commonly reported vision. A sentry at the Martin Tower claimed to have seen the ghostly image of a bear emerging from the jewel room. When he tried to stab it with his bayonet, the weapon passed through the bear's image and stuck in the door. The bear then vanished. There are several theories as to why hauntings may occur at the Tower of London. One theory is that it is a psychic hotspot, meaning it is a place where paranormal activity is more likely to occur due to its long history of violence and tragedy. Another theory is that residual energy from traumatic events lingers in certain areas, causing hauntings. Finally, some believe that ghosts are drawn to the tower due to its spiritual significance or because they are searching for something they have lost. It is also worth noting that the Tower of London has a long history of being used as a prison, execution site, and place of torture, which may contribute to the belief that it is haunted. However, it is important to keep in mind that the psychological effects of being imprisoned, facing execution, or undergoing torture can lead to hallucinations and other perceptions that may not be rooted in reality. While there is no definitive proof that hauntings exist at the Tower of London, there have been numerous reports from people who claim to have experienced paranormal phenomena there. Additionally, scientific instruments such as EMF meters have been used to detect unusual levels of energy in certain parts of the tower. However, skeptics point out that these experiences could be explained by natural phenomena or by hoaxes and fabrications. In conclusion, the Tower of London has a long and rich history, and a reputation for being haunted by numerous spirits and for experiencing paranormal phenomena such as strange noises, lights, and cold spots. From a paranormal perspective, hauntings at the tower are believed to be caused by residual energy from traumatic events that occurred there throughout its long history. While there is no definitive proof that hauntings exist at the tower, there have been numerous reports from people who have experienced paranormal phenomena there. Ultimately, whether these experiences can be attributed to paranormal activity or not remains up for debate among believers and skeptics alike.